welcome to Citizen Speak. My name is Harry Ray, wherever you are, I know it's not in a rest area, but anyway, we say hi to you, wherever you are. Say, hey, Ray. But anyway, I want to bring you up to date. I get my 3 minutes here. And I'm going to talk about something that's really dear to my heart, and that's the illustrious career of David Young. For you folks out there that don't remember David Young, he's a past county commissioner who went to the highest bidder. He ran for treasurer of the state Democratic Party and lost. But to lose, is okay, because the Democrats in their infinite wisdom made him the chair. And here they rewarded the Democrats with the biggest Republican victory in this state's history. And David, he didn't even try to run again. But that's okay. You're going to be exiled back to your trailer park with the toxic waste. But you did do a good turn, though. I really appreciate that. You did somehow sell the Democrats to come to Charlotte for the Democratic Convention. And Charlotte, God bless you, Charlotte. I pray for you because it's going to be a mess down there. I mean, I can just see the Reverend Jackson down there. Excuse me, Reverend Jackson. And I can see the president. Whose president is he again, Don? I can't remember. Oh, Eddie's president. Eddie's president. He's going to be down there, and Joe Biden and Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton, maybe even the author of My Lies, Bill Clinton, and maybe Monica will be there. We never know what's gonna happen in Charlotte, but all bets are off. David, thank you very much for your public service. The only question I ever asked you one time was, do you know anything about the accelerator effect and how money generates money in the economy? And you didn't even know the answer because you're so stupid. But that's okay. Like I said, you're going to be exiled to your trailer park. And don't drink the water. We're not in Europe now. Don't drink that water, David. Without further ado, there's a lot of people around here that look like Don Yelton. I got a phone call the other day from somebody that claimed he was Don Yelton. And two people spotted him within 30 minutes of each other and didn't recognize Don Yelton because they didn't know who he was. No, I shouldn't say they didn't know who he was. He's changed. Look at Ray, he's changed. He's a goat herder now. He's got the goatee.
Well,
without further ado, Don Yelton.
What's really funny, Harry, it was so funny. This guy looked at me and said, you know, you look like somebody I know. You can't be Don Yelton.
Yeah, there's only one, and they broke the mold on you.
Hey, we have fun, but you were speaking about David Young, and you know that trailer park he had and the water problem. At one time, WLOS did a story. Then another time, I went out
and
had somebody pull water quality samples.
Yeah,
we sent those samples to Diener here in Black Mountain, and they said, well, we can't use them because somebody else pulled them. Although I had a chain of custody from the time the water sample was pulled to the lab it went to the results. They said that the operator of the establishment had to pull the samples. So in other words, that's kind of like saying you got to measure yourself. If you're doing something wrong, you have to report it yourself.
Well, I mean, you're talking about a man of immense integrity, David Young. I mean,
well,
if he pulls the water and it takes it down there, I believe the water's going to be fine.
Well, I understand that. Now, let's look at, though, the state Democrats picked Parker to lead.
Oh, you mean David Gant didn't run?
Nope. North Carolina Democrats on Saturday chose a veteran activist, David Parker, to lead the party's comeback effort next year, when it will try to hold on to the governor's mansion and retake the legislature from the Republicans. Parker, a 56-year-old statesville attorney.
Wait a minute. An attorney?
An
attorney at law? Okay.
Easily turned back a spirited and well-financed challenge from the state representative Bill Faison of Orange County. So we know that that's what they tried to do. Mm-hmm. Now, we are the Democrat Party and we are alive, Parker told the delegates. We will fight hard in the reddest counties in the state like Iredell. We're going to fight hard in the bluest counties like Orange and Durham because every vote counts. That is how we're going to carry North Carolina for Barack Obama.
Eddie's president.
Barack Obama. Now, and there's a guy out there, I made a prediction about a month ago. What did I say a month ago about Democrats coming to Charlotte?
Yes.
Why? Because North Carolina is a pivotal state, and North Carolina pivoted the wrong way to the Democrats. In electing Parker, the Democrats chose a figure who has fought in the Democrat trenches for 30 years, from precinct chairman to manager of U.S. Senator Terry Sanford's 1992 re-election campaign to his present post as DNC committeeman.
Ooh.
It sounds like I've been running for office since I was 5 years old, Parker quipped after the tally was announced. He promised to re-emphasize grassroots politics to fight what he calls the Republicans' radical agenda. Now, that radical agenda is what, Harry? Balancing the budget.
Tax cuts, balance the budget, limit of government, and something about a ballot. I can't remember what the other one is.
Ballot access.
Ballot access.
And refill the party's coffers for the 2012 election.
What? They got more money than all of us.
During his campaign for chairman, Parker singled out for criticism such Republican figures as Raleigh businessman Art Pope, the wealthy conservative donor. Well, what happened to George Soros? Where was he in all this mess?
Is he a Republican?
No, he was a Democrat.
Well, he gets a pass.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Charles and David Conk and the Republican majority on the Wake County School Board for criticism. Now, the Wake County School Board, if I understand, went back to community schools.
Well,
Listen to the people.
That's radical.
My gosh, they listen to the people.
That's radical.
But Parker, a soft-spoken, small-town lawyer, does not have a high public profile like the new Republican chairman, former U.S. Robin Hayes, or Hayes' predecessor, former Raleigh Mayor Tom Fetzer.
High profile?
High profile?
He can't even get off a bicycle seat. What are
High
you talking
profile?
about?
Some of the Democratic Party so facing an aggressive trial lawyer as a more forceful, if more controversial choice, who would be more aggressive to be a Democrat. Attack dog. Attack dog. Now, all you people out there that's criticized Chad Nesbitt for his activities in Buncombe County about running the sweeper down the road and doing things that carried it to the Democrats, remember what the Democrats are saying about the attack dog. Faisal will be back in many legislatures. Was nominated by former House Speaker and now State Senator Dan Blue. Former State Democrat Chairman Jerry Meek cut a video for Faisal, but Faisal lacked Parker's party credentials. The Democrats have less of a need for a spokesman in Raleigh than the Republicans because they still control the governor's mansion. Yes, they do, Bev. Bev handles it all, doesn't she? Democratic Governor Bev Perdue officially stayed out of the chairman's race, although governors have traditionally recommended chairman to their party. So she played it cool, kept her mouth shut. Perdue was introduced to the Democrats by outgoing chairman David Young.
Who's that? Who's that guy?
As their last line of defense against the Republican legislature. So Bev is the last line of defense against the legislature. The president, this day after the election, said, we got shellacked. Oh, so now they're using the word shellacked. Perdue said, you have to say ditto here in North Carolina. Say ditto, come on. The governor said as the crowd responded by repeating the word, ditto, ditto, ditto.
Ditto.
But Perdue reminded the crowd that it was public education that set North Carolina apart from much of the rest of the South, and that the state had to continue to work to protect education. And what did she announce?
Education cuts. Wait a minute. Is she talking out of both sides of her mouth?
She's a Democrat, isn't she?
Yeah. She gets a pass, doesn't she?
Education got us to the dance, and education will get us home, Perdue said. Folks, what good is it to have a whole bunch of college graduates with no place to go to work? What good is it to have a bunch of machinists with no manufacturing? What good is it? Lieutenant Governor Walter Dalton said the 2010 election was about voter frustration over the continued economic recession brought about by the trade policies of the administration of Republican President George W. Bush. Still blaming it on Bush.
3 years later. Why not? Blame Bush. That's the new axiom.
The election in 2010 was not a Republican mandate, Dalton said. It was just an indication of continued frustration.
I'm going to answer that with one word. Ditto.
Now, that frustration continues right here in Buncombe County. And let me tell you how it continues. Today at the county commissioners meeting, we set aside more property for farmland preservation. We set up a new board, a board of 9 members. The county commissioners appoints the board. And guess what? the county commissioners can take you off the board for no reason at all. Doesn't make any difference how many members of the board like you and you're doing a good job. If you do something to contradict what they want, they take you off.
What is this board's
Not
name?
only that, we learned some great information today. Let's see how much the media tomorrow, you only hear this here. Let's see if you get the story tomorrow in the media. This came from Mike Fryer. You know, he's been questioning things about the sheriff. When I was questioning the sheriff about the increase in spending for his vehicle expense money, he asked me why I did not also look at other certain county employees' cars and phone allowance, as well as those of the county commissioner. So I decided to look into it. Though I found out that the county employee that he mentioned did not receive a car or phone allowance, I was appalled to find, as of the past June, the car and phone allowances for the county commissioners actually exceeds the sum of their combined salaries. After an increase, the county commissioner's salary equals $100,296. That's all five of them, folks. Don't get excited. Wanda Green's the only one that makes up there in the big six figures. The perks equal $107,546, which adds up to nearly $500,000 over one county commissioner term. So $500,000 over a county commissioner's term. Think about that, folks.
Wait a minute. Is that subject to sales tax?
It takes 107 property owners that own homes valued at $160,000 to cover the perks. The budget ordinance outlines these numbers broken down bi-weekly. Each county commissioner receives a car allowance of $650 bi-weekly, which equals $16,900 per year, and a cell phone allowance bi-weekly of $175. So they're getting almost $400 a month cell phone allowance. So, friends, that's going to create some frustration, I think, in you voters out there when you consider that Ray Bailey reported by Robin Ramsey that he draws $124,000 a year retirement, $20,000 a year in county salary, and $20,000 in benefits. Now, that's 124 plus 20 is 144 plus 20 is $164,000 coming out of tax dollars. And of the biggest part of that, that's 124, comes from the educational budget. So, Bev, how about cutting that part of the budget? How about cutting that part of the budget?
I have a question to ask you, Don. Just one item. Your cell phone bill. My cell phone bill is that's including my wife. Unlimited, Texas, $90 a month. $90 a month, Don. Why do these people get $175 biweekly?
Hey, they're making money. That's a way to hide it, not on the taxes and not pay taxes. Go ahead, caller. Let's see if I can get you on the phone here.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just want to make certain I understand that right. You told me that we had a citizen from the public, Mike Fryer, go up to the county commissioners and ask them how much money they're getting for, how much money did you say again they're getting a month for a cell phone?
$175 bi-weekly.
I want to ask everybody out there that's listening right now, does anybody pay $300 a month for their cell phone? Well, no. So if they're getting that money, Don, and they're getting that money, I'm sure their plan is not costing them $300. Are they turning back the other money back into the county?
No.
No.
Oh, well, so that must be
Why
going in
shouldn't
their
they?
pockets.
They're putting it in their pockets.
Right.
And how much of that
Okay,
car
now
allowance?
let's go to the car. How much did you say they get a month for a car?
$650 bi-weekly.
So that's $1,300 a month for a car.
Right.
Wow. I tell you what, it pays to get elected, don't it?
Well, that's just one of the things we uncovered. Now, you got to keep in mind that the sheriff told Mike Fryer to go look for this. Ashley Wanda gave Mike Fryer the information he had asked for on the sheriff. So do we have a urinating match between the sheriff and the county manager?
Sound like to me they want to get a free ride on the taxpayers. I hope everybody hears that, but, I don't think it's going to wake them up. But I did know on the agenda there was an issue with ULTV, the very institute that you're on right now. that they were going to elect the board member tonight, and they were going to talk about about the chairman of the board. I guess that's what you call him up there, Jerry Young. He ran his term out. Tell me what happened. Who got elected as far as the board member, and what happened to Jerry Young?
Well, I suggest that everyone watch the county commissioners meeting when it gets posted. You go look at it, because what happened was when they brought this up, they said, well, we have 3 applicants and 1 is not available and can be appointed based upon our current rules. Of course, Mr. Stanley had made them comment during the pre-meeting that we ought to change the rules. See, the county commissioners can do anything. They're God. And he said, we're going to change our rules and let Mr. Young stay on because he's done such a wonderful job.
Oh my goodness, I'm glad to hear that, because as great as public access has been the last 4 years or so, they kept the same guy in charge along with the rest of the folks. My goodness. Well, with that news, I'm going to have to hang up, because I just know the best is yet to come for public access. See you, Don.
Well, what has happened, and the comment that I made when that was made, I got up during public comment, and I said, folks, I've been here many times in this chamber, and I remember the League of Women Voters did a study on how boards and commissions were appointed. Nelda Holder was in charge of the League of Women Voters, who is a past member of the board here, past chair, I think, was on that committee, and they said that they were going to make some recommendations how the boards were appointed, because if you do a study of the boards, you find the boards is a great group of circle jerks. And so bottom line is the League of Women Voters came up and made that comment, but they never came back with their follow-up report to say what corrections should be made to the appointment of the boards. Now, if you watch the county commissioners meeting, you will see Holly Jones did not like what was going on, but she has been pushed back in the corner by Mr. Stanley and the rest of them. She didn't like what was going on. You'll see that. And just hold on 1 minute, caller. I want to get this point out. You will see that she didn't like what was going on at all. And so they went ahead and appointed. But I got up and I said, I've seen this happen in these chambers. And I said, here you are. You've had these chambers full twice with people concerned about URTV not having enough money and not being funded and not surviving. And so if that management is that good, you're going to reappoint them again. What does it tell you about what the county commissioners want for URTV? They want it to go under because they're only going to give it $20,000. And another lady who's on URTV got up and made the comment. Some people don't like the shows on here. Some people, they find them controversial. Some people find me controversial. I find some other people controversial. That's okay. It's freedom of speech. That's what it's all about. You know, that's what it's all about. Bottom line is you won't hear what you hear here anywhere else, and you won't hear the information anywhere else that you hear here, because the county gets $1.7 million last year franchise fee. Franchise fee, $1.7 million. Now, they operate the county channel. Tomorrow I'll be picking up the salary of the county employees, all the county employees. I'd requested that last week. And we're going to calculate how much the Buncombe County TV employees make. Plus, they have a building up there that's provided by whom?
Taxpayers.
No rent. They have the equipment provided by whom?
Taxpayers.
No purchase. And when this thing was set up to start with, a lot of that money that they had to go for equipment, not operations. So, folks, I can remember when they said they didn't want public access TV. I can remember when they said that. I remember when I said that. But bottom line, if you're going to have it, it's got to be open to everybody. It's got to have free speech on it. But the amazing thing is it's never been utilized by the county commissioners when they run for office. It's never been utilized at all. And you see a city channel that's nothing but a bulletin board that anybody could do. And I'm going to tell you what, folks, doing a regular weekly show like we do here is not no easy job. It takes dedication. It takes time. It takes effort. And if you want this to continue, those of you that watch, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, Ray, you need to let the county commissioners know that you think they ought to at least chip in a little bit out of that $2 million. How about 1%? Flip it over here. I mean, do something. Because I also informed the county commissioners that Wanda Green told Pat Garlinghouse, executive director, tell everybody in the county just to pay $300 a year membership.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Now, for Wanda Green to say that, she's basically saying, let it die, let it die, let it die. Now, I go back to Wanda and the sheriff having a fight. Now, hold on, caller. You see, let me get you. You there, caller?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Don?
Yeah.
Talking about the sheriff's department there at the beginning of your show and everything, why do Buncombe County Sheriff Department cars stay in Haywood County? I mean, do they drive them home? Are we paying their gas from Buncombe County, drive all the way to Haywood County for the vehicle to sit up there at the library and the house right there beside the library? There's a Buncombe County Sheriff car is there all the time.
Well, I think that is going on. I know there's one part that the Jupiter Fire Department quite frequently, so they do take the cars home, and I think they justify that by saying if they get a call, they got to have their car to answer a call. The Asheville police do the same thing. The Woodfin police do the same thing. The Weaverville police do the same thing. So all of these law enforcement officers do that everywhere. It's considered a benefit of their job.
Why don't they pay tax on it?
Well, I was just wondering because, if your car's there all day long or all night, then you're not on call. If you're patrolling, you should be out there in Buncombe County patrolling, not having the car sitting at your house.
Are you saying that maybe then that there's more cars being bought than really used?
Well, I don't think that they should be. Okay, if you work in law enforcement, you should drive your vehicle to your job. Get in your police car,
and
sheriff
patrol.
car, or whatever, and do your job as a policeman.
Patrol.
Okay, when it comes time to go home, your shift is over with. You should drive your own vehicle from Buncombe County to Haywood County.
Well, I think that's what happens on most jobs, unless you're a salesman or something like that. So that goes back to my original question. Are you saying then possibly we have more cars than we really need? Could we save some money if we did what you talked about?
I think they could save a lot of money just in gas driving from Buncombe County to the library in Canton, North Carolina.
But think about how much money they could save by not having to buy that many cars.
Yeah.
Well, a lot. But just stop and think. That's our tax dollars that's paying for all of that.
But
I mean, sure.
That's what happens,
it must
honey.
be nice to not have to put gas in your own vehicle to go do this, that, and the other. Oh, as long as you're getting the money from somebody else, that's all well and fine. But what I'm saying is, it just don't look right that sheriff car, Buncombe County Sheriff Department, sitting right there in plain view, not even in the garage. So it makes you wonder.
Well, I want to tell you,
Are
I'm going to tell you that's very, very true, and I appreciate you calling in. Let's grab and see what this other person has to say. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Good point, lady.
Hello?
Hey, Jose Mubarak didn't want public TV either.
Do what?
There in Egypt did.
Oh, hey, look, he shut down the internet and everything, didn't he?
Yeah, I wonder why the government doesn't want public TV. They had to go to Twitter and Facebook and everything else to get the point across to the citizens because the government wasn't telling them what they wanted to hear.
But then they shut the internet down, so that got Twitter.
But now they've got ways around shutting it down. You can't keep us good guys down no matter what you
Appreciate
do.
it a lot. Let me get this other good guy wanting to get in here. Have a good one. Thank you.
Good call.
Hello, go ahead.
Hello, Don. It's Tanya calling from Candler. I just got a comment here. The way Obama's got this situation going with the economy and everything, me being a livestock dealer, I've looked and can't find no goats for no cheap or reasonable prices anywhere around North Carolina or in North Carolina. Evidently, he must be hogging them all and eating them out there in Washington.
Slow down a minute, because we're having a little problem with hearing you. Go, slow that again, okay?
It's garbled a
Okay.
little bit.
Let me turn the TV down.
Ah.
I said I have a situation with the way Obama's running this country and the way the economy is. I, being a livestock dealer, I've searched and searched all over North Carolina and surrounding areas for goats and sheep to buy, to raise and deal with to make money for my family. And I've yet to be able to find any. And I'm wondering if he's hogging them all, eating them.
Oh, goats and sheep. Well, I do know this.
Huh.
I know based upon the large Hispanic population, they love goats.
Barbo Chivo, yes.
It's one of their favorite meats. And I have a friend who's very close to me, said the most money he ever made in his life was raising goats.
Yep, that's what I've done since I was 16, and I'm 31 now, and the way it's looking, I'm not going to be able to make no money for my family this year if something doesn't turn around.
Well, I guess I better watch the goats. I guess I better watch the goats I got. Somebody might be stealing my goats, mightn't they?
That's right. We've got 6 goats, and I've looked and looked and looked for about 4 months straight. There's an auction in Waynesville. You probably know the one I'm speaking of.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
He had 4 goats come through last Saturday, and he said that's the most he's had come through in 7 months.
What did they go for?
They went from anywhere from $25 to $75 a piece.
Nannies? Little nannies.
Meat goats, pygmies, but he
Yeah.
said sheep right now are up anywhere from 125 and up.
Yeah, that's.
And I'm just wondering if Obama being Obama, if
Well,
he's got them put up in the White House somewhere in the backyard, and if he's eating them for his supper.
Hey, maybe he's got a bunch of them getting ready to feed somebody. Maybe he's fixing to have a massive move to fatten up the Hispanics so they can go ahead and vote and take over the country.
one goat, one vote.
He's doing something with them because they're hiding out real good, and nobody could seem to find them. There wasn't even any, but a couple in Iowa this week, and they're already gone. So something's going on.
Well, I can tell you this much. I love my goats. They're great. And if anybody's never had a goat, you need to get a goat.
Exactly. I agree with you. And if you want a pet that you don't really have to worry about arguing and fussing back, the goat's the way to go. You can sit down, talk to them. They'll talk back with you. They're just like a youngin'.
And I love it when you put a big bale of hay in there. Those little fellers will go down there and jump right straight on top of that bale of hay.
King of the mountain.
Yes, sir.
You got that right.
Yes, sirree.
You got that right. But,
Appreciate the call. If anybody's got any goats out there that they want to get rid of, give us a call. We got a lady looking for goats.
And Miracle Farms.
I got you covered.
But I just believe, the way because of Obama, it's going to put us farmers out.
Okay, well, we thank you. Appreciate it, dear. Okay, now we're out of commission. Right now, my phone just went dead, and I just had it fully charged when I came in. Harry, you was talking about phones a while ago. You know what I've done to my phone?
Well, you don't get a. Well, when I was a salesman, I had a car, and I had to pay tax on that car. I had to pay absolute tax on that car, Paul. We can do it right here. And if that lady has a good point. If there's one car out of that pool that's gone, that means
Look it up.
one car cannot be on patrol.
That's the key. I think that's the thing.
Yeah,
I'm
and
thinking.
if they're not on patrol, that they're disabled. And why have all those vehicles?
You have to double your number of cars when you do that.
Exactly.
You have to double your number of cars.
On triple, you got 3 8-hour shifts.
Yeah,
three shifts.
and then also these cars have to have maintenance, and you can't run these things 24 hours
Well,
a
you
day.
can do what the county used to do. I don't think they do it anymore because I started talking about it so much in public.
Leasing them?
No. What they used to do is they let the landfill pay for the maintenance on the cars.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's what a good public accountant does, Harry. And Wanda Green's an accountant and a PhD in money shuffling.
But you've never referred to her as Dr. Green?
Well, Harry,
It's always Wanda
You
or
know what
green.
I told you about PhDs a long time ago?
Right.
I don't have a lot of respect for PhDs. A PhD is just somebody that studied a little bit more than a master's, that studied a little bit more than a bachelor's. And with the schools the way they are today, that's the way it goes.
But now with education, what is it? The dropouts, what, 50% now? That's not too bad, is it?
Yeah.
Our math and science scores are 29th.
Oh, no. The county commissioners had a big program today about how many people they're
Oh, wait a
getting
minute.
back in school.
Wait a second now.
And guess where they're taking them back in school, Harry?
AB Tech.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You teased the audience. What is the name of the new board that they created tonight? I know that I'm not eligible for it.
Son, you're like me. You ain't eligible for nothing.
Same here.
What is the board?
It's a farmland preservation program.
The Farmland Preservation Board. Now, what happens when you take land off the public rolls? That means your revenues have gone down,
Mm-hmm.
but your spending is still maintained because you never cut expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you've got to raise this to here.
And then you get money to buy conservation easements.
Yes. And then you raise sales tax.
And then you take the land in the conservation easement and reduce the tax value of the land.
So it's a sucker bet.
But it's amazing, Harry. If you go to the county commission and sit there, you know what you see?
I throw up.
Everybody, give me. Well, you got to go learn how not to puke.
It's hard. It's hard.
Hey, do you think it's not hard on Jerry Rice? He's been up there every meeting, time after time after time. And folks, if you watch the commissioner meeting this week, you will see Carol Weir Peterson shut him down. The minute he got through making a public comment, she said, "I call the vote. I call the vote. I call the vote."
Well, so the vote was 5-0 or 4-1, Nathan?
I mean, that's what's going on. But now all these people calling in, see, they know what's going on. They know what's going on.
Because it comes out of your pocket. It's a tax. Anything that comes out of your pocket, it's a tax.
Oh, tonight on the Dan Eichenbaum show that comes on here at 8:30 to 9:30, he will have Senator again Jim Davis discussing the GOP legislative agenda, which is the thing that the GOPs are trying to do in Raleigh. And one of the things I think is important, I want to point this out. If you have not heard, of course, the Democrat convention is coming to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Thank you, David Young.
That shows you how important this state is to Obama. And don't tell me, if you're a Democrat, you're putting your rubber stamp on Obama. Don't come up to me and bitch and moan and groan about how bad things are or the state of the economy. It's not George Bush, Dan. It's not George Bush anymore. It's Obama. Obama's the one that has spent so much more than any other presidents preceding him. He's the one that's put us in debt. And so bottom line is, he's coming to North Carolina because he sees North Carolina pivotal because of what happened in Raleigh. And here's the problem, and I was discussing this today with some key people in the Republican Party. The Democrats are already attacking the Republicans. Oh, they're going to cut education. You're going to be out of a job. They're going to cut education. It's not, you know, and what, my question to all of you out there, and if you've got a suggestion on how to save money for the government, call in right now. That's what I want. Ideas on how to save money. Because you know something? You have to save it in your own life.
You have to live within your means.
You have to live within your means. And so what are you willing to not look to the government for? What are you willing to do? Because if you start going to these county commissioners, you see it's everybody approaching with a handout. Everybody wanting the government to solve their problem. Everybody wanting the government to give them something. Everybody wanting the government to take care of the kids. Everybody wanting the government to take care of housing and affordable housing and everything. And it goes on and on and on and on and on.
Donna?
I've got two questions. What do you think we should do to balance our budget? Because you know what he should have just did?
He's packing a gun.
No, he should have just resigned from the budget committee.
Really?
Now, why would a Democrat who cares about people
Mountain values.
resign from the budget committee? I propose to you he resign simply because he wants to lay the blame at the Republicans' feet for trying to balance the budget and cutting expenses.
You've got questions out there for that.
That's what he wants to do.
You've got questions out there for the audience. I got a question for you. And the audience, I want you to listen to this question very carefully. All this money that we're going to spend on education, Don, where does it come from?
It comes from everybody out there.
It comes from your hide, folks. It comes out of your purse. It comes out of your wallet. I don't care what you buy. I don't care what you sell. It's your money that they're playing with. The biggest budget, Don's gone over this many times, the biggest budget item in what? Buncombe County is what?
Education and social services.
Now, social services is a misnomer as far as I'm concerned. I think that
It's welfare.
they do more harm than good.
It's welfare, Harry.
But yeah, oh, it is. It's welfare. But now, I didn't mean to interrupt your dialogue there, but it just irritates me when you're reading about Bev Purdue and education, and they got to take back they're going to cut education. The thing is, the money doesn't come from the state; it comes from you personally out there. Look at
See,
the
the
mirror.
government has no way to generate money.
No,
But you know, I think we failed to get people to see that, because I was talking with a gentleman this morning who was well educated. He said, "How do you expect to stimulate the economy by keeping these tax cuts where they were at?" He said, "Are we going to have to increase taxes to stimulate the economy?" How many times, folks, do you have to understand and see that if you take from the man that owns the factory, what's he going to do? He's going to increase the price of what he sells. And whatever it is, I don't care if it's Mercedes-Benz, I don't care if it's a yacht, I don't care. A yacht is not made of yachts. It's made of parts. And those parts that go in that yacht were made by people that own manufacturing companies. That was assembled by people that don't own yachts, but they have a job. So if you tax that man so he can't have a yacht and he doesn't buy a yacht, what'd you do about those jobs? It's that socialistic idea that if everybody has equal share of everything, everybody be happy. We have enough for our needs if equally distributed,
well, let me ask you
but
this.
not enough for our greed. But guess what, folks?
No, doesn't work that way.
If you tax the man that owns the company, he's going to do what? Now, if you make the price of gas go up because you're subsidizing gasohol production, which is what Obama has been doing, and our legislatures, especially those that have farm country, drove up the price of corn. And what does that have an impact on? The price of bread, the price of cookies, the price of everything. Because guess what? When diesel, which is now higher than anybody else because they had to get the sulfur up out of it, is now $3.50 a gallon. Guess who's going to pay that $3.50 a gallon? It sure ain't going to be the truck driver. It sure ain't going to be the company that's shipping. It's going to be the person that gets the stuff shipped to, which be you. You be the one on the end of that shipping. It doesn't fly into your house on wings. It's shipped to you on trucks. So you got to figure out what you're talking about. And when we have these holier-than-thou commissioners sit up there and act like God, Harry, I can understand it making you want to puke. But you know something? I get fed up with people not willing to go and watch them. Stare at them. Let them know you're watching them. Do what Mike Fryer did. Do what Jerry Rice did. Do what the lady did that's got the other show here on URTV. Go up there and tell them what you think. But you know, most of you, I think people have given up.
Well,
I think a lot of people have given up, Harry.
I think, well, yeah. Well, you know, the other thing too, Don, I like to comment on your theory of this equality for everybody. Okay, if that's the case, we'll just use the Congress as an example. Why don't they live like us? Why don't they make $15 an hour? Why don't they have the same health care benefits that we have? Why don't they have the same retirements we have to live on Social Security that we had to pay into? You know, why do they take money from other companies, you know, to get favors? Is that not taxable income? I mean, if they're talking about equality, that's where the argument breaks down for this. The poor man, I'm for the little man kind of thing for the Democrat Party is because you look at their elites. You look at people like John Kerry, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama. These aren't your equals. They look down on us because we're peons to them. That's the Mexican, peon is the Mexican equivalent to a peasant. That's what they look like. They look down to us as peasants. They need
Well,
our
I
votes.
saw that, Harry, when I went to Raleigh that last Wednesday.
What's that? We're peons?
No, I saw it's a drug.
That's an aphrodisiac to these people.
It's a drug. These people were there. I mean, they were. You had people there in wheelchairs. You had people there that had been in office years past that were crippled. You had people that could barely walk. But, man, they had to be there. And for that whole day, it was nothing but casting a vote for the Speaker of the House and the control of the Senate. And I told somebody, I think it's absurd. That day, that cost of that day could have been saved. That per diem could have been saved. And all that money could have been saved. Because you know what? The legislatures could have elected the chair over the internet.
You can vote on the internet. I mean, they have those surveys, and those are secure websites. You try and vote again on that little survey, whatever is your favorite football team or whatever, you can only vote once.
If we don't enact that, here's what's going to happen. Nassau County, New York. A state oversight board seized control of Nassau County's finances and contracts, citing the wealthy and heavily taxed Long Island County's failure to balance its $2.7 billion budget. The move came after months of steadily ominous threats and downgrade of Nassau's credit rating. Now, that's where you go in a crapper, boy, when your bond rating goes down and the interest on your existing bonds goes through the roof. That's when you go in the capital. Illinois, court throws out $1.1 billion construction program. California, public axes 400 redevelopment agencies, according to the governor. New Mexico, state Supreme Court overrules governor on pollution ruling. Oversight in the Detroit region. Oversight sought for corruption-plagued water agency. I mean, you know, this you find Los Angeles trash disposal system called polluting and wasteful. Mesquite, Nevada, councilwoman kills husband, commits suicide.
Mesquite, Nevada.
Mesquite, Nevada.
That's what's his name? Territory, and the senator.
Yeah. The Nation, bans on Sunday alcohol sales may soon be history. So guess what? We're going to sell alcohol all the time. We're going to have gambling everywhere to balance the budget, but you can't even gamble if you ain't got no money, baby.
It's a victimless crime.
And you can't get drunk if you ain't got no money to buy booze.
What are you going to do? You're going to steal.
The Nation, state CIOs still expect wave of industrial technology worker retirements. In other words, all them their computer high-paying jobs going to go bye-bye.
What about the baby boomers? Huh? They're hitting this year. They're hitting hard. 1946. They're 65. Yes, sirree, bub. Wave after wave after wave. They want their money. We paid it. We have to pay tax on our Social Security benefits. On your unemployment.
Mayor fights to save local block grant funding. They're encouraging the White House to keep the money flowing, because when the money gets to the county or the state, guess what? You can't follow it anywhere. You have no idea where it's going. Illinois, the feds are probing states' pension savings projections. In other words, they ain't going to have no money to pay retirement. Just like General Motors, which is why they took half of General Motors and slopped it off and went it bankrupt and then let the others sit there. How many people lost their savings in that move?
Speaking of General Motors, did you know that they're opening a plant in Mexico City to produce motors. Did you know that? How do you like those apples there, UAW?
Orange County, California.
I know that area.
Former sheriff reports to federal prison. Hey, we got it on the East Coast, we got it on the West Coast. But how about the one in Haywood County that was involved in video poker, just like the one in Buncombe County, but he resigned and got scot-free. He stepped down, didn't get prosecuted.
You got a
And
slap?
then what about our own governor? 24 counts and he convicted on one.
I like to see him in jail, though.
Oh, you'd like to see everybody in jail. That's that.
Well, I got my wish. Jim Black, I guess if you get one, you're happy.
you have said that, Harry, so long. Everybody out there says, there goes Harry wanting everybody to go to jail.
Well, Don, if you and
I know. If you don't pay your FICA, you're going to go to jail.
Well, Don, if you and I don't pay our income taxes, what
You
are
go
they
to
gonna
jail. Big deal.
do? Yeah, big deal.
Harry, the courts are for the honest people.
Yeah,
The courts are not for the crooks.
yeah.
Now, and here's one. Yes, Ray, Illinois High Court puts Emanuel back on the ballot.
Say, hey, Ray. It's cool, man.
He is in, he's out. He's in, he's out. Now,
Wait a minute. Careful how you say that, Don. Careful how you say that.
what, in and out?
Yeah, because we've been accused of other things. You've been accused, and I've been accused by this Ray Hay guy.
Hey, that's all right. Bell, California. Scandals have wrecked city finances, manager says. No wonder. That's where the guy was drawing $200,000 a year retirement, $1 million salaries. New York City. Student suspensions have soared. Even the kids are getting restless.
Student suspensions.
Chicago, back in Illinois again.
My kind of town.
City delays $1 billion bond sale for airport. I wonder if they delayed the bond sale because the credit rating was in the crapper.
We can't endorse toilet paper. You know.
The new governor's slow. Yeah, but we will take contributions to toilet paper. I did that the first time I was on the air.
They
It
need-
helped out.
as a matter of
it
fact-
does help us. We got such a limited budget here. If you want to donate toilet paper or paper towels, we'd love to have it.
Coffee?
Coffee. Yeah, okay, need some
Well,
coffee.
I can't-
No coffee, no coffee.
I can't
No
help.
coffee.
No.
Can't have coffee.
Nobody cleans up after themselves. I'm tired of doing it.
Oh, okay. You heard that. Nobody cleans up
No coffee.
after coffee. So those of us that are
Yes.
members of URTV and producers, shame, shame,
Well,
shame.
that's specifically why we need paper towels and toilet
We need more paper towels because we got to clean up the coffee. Okay.
Don, I think Regina just called in
Yeah.
and wanted me to let you know that that she's been trying to call and you're not answering, or if you're not taking calls, that's cool. But she was trying to.
Well, what happened is the phone went, for all of those trying to call in, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
What happened? My phone went totally dead. The battery was so dead it couldn't even pick up her radio signal.
So tell Regina I did relay the message.
Regina, as always, the
God.
staff here at URTV does everything they can to keep everybody happy, even begging for toilet paper and paper towels. But no coffee because they don't clean up after the mess.
Thank you, Regina.
I'll take that.
Actually, a beautiful woman.
Go ahead, Regina, try it now. See if this little yellow thing on here will work. All right? We'll keep an eye on it there, Harry. If it does, that's fine.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on. It's on. It may be dead. Who knows? Who knows what's going on with these phones? Matter of fact, my wife has a theory. One of these days, computers and cell phones are going to
Bing.
shut down.
Oh yeah.
And when it does,
By the way, all those big solar flares we've had in the past has been pre-technology. There's
Yep.
supposed to be one coming next year, and if we're on the side when it hits, bye-bye technology.
Well, yeah. It's what 7:51. We have about 9 minutes approximately, and please try to call in. Don is, what can I say? This new technology, BlackBerry, whatever that means. Please call in. It's 775-7212.
well, before anybody calls in,
Oh,
that's okay.
I'm
They
sorry.
had to listen to me rant and rave, didn't they? Before we call in, we will just sort of hush a minute. Except I'm going to make a prediction.
Creswell predicts.
Everybody knew about Otto DeBrule stepping down, right? He resigned.
Yes.
First comment.
I'm going to let you comment on that, please.
First comment. There's more to that than meets the eye. That's all I'm going to say.
Don't you want to talk about his replacement?
Well, I'm going to predict that his replacement has the last name of DeBrule. That's my prediction.
Boy, I would not take that bet. You gave me 51 odds, I wouldn't take that bet.
I bet you it's going to have a name DeBrule because they're going to keep it in the family.
He'll also have a D by his voter registration too.
And I wonder what a particular attorney in Asheville's going to do now. That's all I'm going to say, Harry. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, let's just, like I said, I mean.
Is it snowing outside yet?
No, it has nothing to do with that guy at all.
Oh, I know that. But
It's not.
I'm trying to change the subject.
It has nothing to do with that. But just keep watch, folks. I mean, Joanne Morgan, bless her heart, she retired, brought back, retired, brought back, retired, brought back, retired, brought back, retired, brought back.
Well, let's talk about a lawsuit then. Are you going to mention that?
Which one?
Well, the one that we're talking about, the subject.
No. That's what I said. That's why I wonder what that attorney's going to do now.
Oh, okay. Well, he also. Well, wait a minute. There's a conflict. He also represents you, doesn't he?
Represents who?
You.
No.
I thought that was the same attorney that represented you.
No.
I think we're on different wavelengths here.
Yeah, we're on different ways.
Okay.
That's what I said. I'm in my never land, Harry. You know me. I'm over here.
I've never left. What are you talking about?
It just never land. And I have a hard enough time finding an attorney to do anything for me.
Well, that's what I was referring to. But I guess there's a different attorney involved here than I thought. I'm sorry.
Oh yes, a different attorney was involved.
It's my. I apologize.
Do you notice that everything you do have to have an attorney involved?
Yeah. You can't have. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You can't sign a contract. You can't write a contract.
But do you know, deep down, they're really nice guys, though.
Hey, you know something? I think that we have approached a position in this country. I believe it's trying to ring. Is it trying to ring?
No.
Nope. It was vibrating. What were you doing vibrating it, Harry?
I didn't. And it's probably that earthquake that's going to hit us next year.
That earthquake.
Or that solar flare, or whatever you're going to call it. But no, kidding aside, I cannot emphasize enough, and until the actual vote is taken, please consider the ramifications of the sales tax increase. Now, it's just another fraud, because this is money that's going to go for deferred maintenance that should have been done year by year, Ray Bailey, and that was part of your job to make sure that those buildings were maintained.
Well, let's interview that just a minute, because it's a 0.25% sales tax.
Yes. For how many years, Don?
Well, I don't know how many years it takes to generate $130-some million. And what they want to do with the money is, number one, they want to move some sidewalks.
Oh, that's important. Yeah, move some sidewalks.
Move some sidewalks.
Okay, that's
reconstruct some
deconstruction
signs and so forth. Mm-hmm. And they want to do some maintenance that they failed to do.
You mean it's been deferred?
Yeah.
Or it's been put off?
Well, it didn't work into the budget. See, they had their projects they wanted to do, so they just took the money that would go to maintenance and let it go over there.
Well, didn't that fund his retirement, Don?
Well, hey, he's got
He got a bonus too, keeping that thing in line. I'm sure he got bonuses.
He's got a good retirement. But anyway, that's the first thing they wanted to do. The second thing they wanted to do is to increase their facilities for training of allied health field. Also dental assistants. But
wait a minute, that's a moot point, because Bronco Care is going to take care of all that.
Well,
we don't need.
I kind of thought about that, Harry, when they brought that up. But the thing about it is, if Michigan's got the money to buy up the McDowell County Hospital, the Transylvania County Hospital, the Hot Springs Health Clinic, if they've got all that money, then why don't they train their own staff? Or why don't we be creative and let Mission provide the facility, and then AB Tech provide the staff to train, and let the folks work hard half-time and go to school half-time.
Kind of like an apprentice program, you're saying?
Yes, and have that apprentice program in the hospital.
Well, that's too radical. I mean, that's taking the students out of the classroom now, Don.
Well, now wait a minute.
You
We're
can't have
taking them
that.
out of high school and putting them at AB Tech. Remember that program, Keep Them in School?
Yes, that another failure. Yes.
And then, of course, today at the county commission meeting, Ray said, well, I want you to get the numbers of the adults that come back for the GED to Asheville Biltmore. Now, you know what he's doing. He's trying to pump up his numbers to justify the $130 million.
He should have got the GED
And if you
in
think
high
about
school.
how this thing was planned, look, here's what happened. First and foremost, we have David Gant and the mayor on TV pushing AB Tech. Then they come to the county and ask for this tax for $130 million.
What was the vote?
Then, after they do that, we got Ray Bailey up there sitting and say, can you find some more numbers about how we've helped people? And then you have the superintendent of Buncombe County Schools coming up there singing their praises about all these people that went to AB Tech and graduated that didn't flunk out of school. Now, Harry, do they honestly think we're so stupid that
Yes.
we can't see those connections?
Yes, they do. They're so arrogant.
I got a question. Doesn't that sound like what the city did by hiring an outside staff to tell the water company how to set their building?
Well, this water thing in the city of Asheville
Yeah, this is another albatross.
is a total idiotic problem that can be solved with smart engineering.
Very smart. Simple. Common sense.
And you can find it at www.citizenspeak.com in the archives. I addressed it so long ago, nobody ever paid any attention to it, but it's in the archive section. It tells you how to do it. And Cecil, you should support that
No, he's still looking for more parking spaces.
because it
downtown.
does have a charge based on how far you have to pump it or how high you have to pump it. That's what nobody wants because we don't want to get those powerful people on Sunset Mountain.
Paying their fair share.
And it also has a way to loan money and fix up the existing sewer lines by using the power of the government to divide up the water system into districts and float bonds to repair those bad districts and allocate the payback to that district. It can be done. I've had engineers tell me it would work, and it should be done. And it's fair and it's equitable. That's the problem, folks. It's fair and equitable. It doesn't repay the developers who want to build houses out in the county and have the city run the water out there. And it does make the people that live up on Sunset Mountain pay their fair share for pumping that water up there and having 1,200 pounds per square inch on water lines. Now, folks, that's like putting a regular old garden hose up to a big high pump on a fire engine and watching that hose go pow.
You're talking about
That's
hydrant.
why we have so many problems with water leaks in Asheville, North Carolina. We have to have the pressure so high. Now, there's a solution to the problem, but nobody wants to address it because it's very practical. And furthermore, Don Yelton had something to do with it.
And Don Yelton is a non-buddy. Good night and God bless America. I don't know how much time we have left, but
We've got
Oh,
a
we
minute
got
and a
a
half.
minute. Oh.
You trying to get out of here?
no, heavens
See, because
no.
we need to
No.
apologize to all the people that tried to call in tonight because my phone went dead.
These newfangled inventions, Don.
The
I
battery went dead.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go get me a new phone. Hey, can I get the county to give me $175 every 2 weeks to buy me a phone?
No, every bi-weekly.
That's what I said, every 2 weeks. Bi-weekly and two's the same thing, Harry.
Well, I know, but people don't understand that.
Oh, people understand buy two?
Yeah.
I bet they do.
Buy two. Buy two for one.
No, buy two. Bi-weekly, 2 weeks. Maybe the county commissioners will give me somebody to get me a phone.
My God, you may qualify. I would hope so.
And poor old Christopher tried to tell us how much longer we got, and he just absolutely got. I said, "Okay, what you got? We got 30 seconds left."
God bless America.
Hey,
Keep our troops safe.
Regina,
Keep our prayers.
We're sorry you couldn't get in. Hang in there.
God
Be
bless
good. Take care. And look, go to the county commissioners meeting and you throw up. That's what you need to do.
Bring your own bag.
Be your own. Hey, no, do it on the floor.
Do I remember you taking something to a meeting that was not?
Oh yes, absolutely. I took it to the city council meeting down in Burlington, North Carolina. I took some dog poo. So you
All
know
that water. That's right. And David Young, drink the water. It's poison.
And guess what?